Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, yesterday I was listening to a live stream. An African American woman was talking about black Donald Trump supporters being informed and awake and basically suggesting that they know what's going on, and the average African American that doesn't support Donald Trump doesn't know what's going on. Like, that's basically the core point that she was making. And she was also talking about how Donald Trump is a better president than Hillary Clinton would ever be. Now, those of you who are familiar with my channel know that I don't support Hillary Clinton. I've done videos explaining why I don't support her. If I get a chance, I'll post links in the cards for people who have not seen those videos. But with that being said, I can say that Hillary Clinton would have been a better president than Donald Trump. Despite my criticism of her and all this and that and my, differences of opinion, hell, I think Daffy Duck will be a better president than Donald Trump or Mickey Mouse, man. Donald Trump is a complete joke. And any black person that supports Donald Trump at this point is a fool. There's no other way to describe it. There's no other way to explain it. I'm just going to be upfront. They're a fool. They're uninformed. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And they don't have the best interests of black people at heart. And I'm going to explain to you why. I mean, this woman talked about how these black people support Donald Trump and how they're informed and this and that, but she couldn't tell you one thing that Donald Trump has done for black people. She didn't mention one policy that he's proposed that will be helpful to black people. She didn't mention one initiative that this man has proposed that will be beneficial to black people. She didn't mention anything. The only thing that she talked about was, these talking points about immigration, these right-wing, backwards-ass talking points that have nothing to do with the black community. I mean, that's all she could mention. But I challenge you black Trump supporters to tell me what Donald Trump has done for black people as president of the United States. I challenge you people to tell me what his accomplishments are as president of the United States. While it is difficult to come up with things that this man has done to benefit black people, there are plenty of examples of things that he has done to the detriment of black people. And when I brought some of these things up during the chat of this live stream, this sister tried to deflect and change the subject into a subject about black on black violence, into a subject about economic development, and all these other deflections. She didn't want to talk about what Donald Trump has done. She didn't want to talk about his positions on the issues. I'll tell you what Donald Trump has done to black people. He's talked about using his Justice Department to fight against affirmative action, a program that benefits many African Americans, that makes it possible for us to get higher education and enter the middle class. He's talked about supporting racial profiling. During the campaign, he talked about this. He talked about supporting New York-style stop and frisk. And for those of you who aren't familiar with New York-style stop and frisk, that was a program in New York City where many innocent black people were searched, frisked, harassed by the police, and they were innocent bystanders, innocent people. The only reason why they were stopped and harassed is because of the neighborhoods that they live in and because of the color of their skin. And such tactics were declared to be unconstitutional by a federal court. But that's a policy that your president, Donald Trump, supports. But yet you still have these ignorant Negroes supporting this guy. This man set up a sham voter fraud commission, which is designed to do nothing but suppress African American voters and Latino voters, so-called minority voters. How does that benefit the black community? The Trump administration's response to that whole situation in Charlottesville, Virginia, is another prime example of how this Trump administration doesn't give a damn about black people. Here you had a group of white supremacists bearing torches, engaging in acts of violence, spewing all kinds of hatred against black people, against Jews, immigrants, and other groups of people. But instead of harshly condemning these people, this man tried to claim that they were morally equivalent to the people who were protesting against racism and white supremacy. That's what this man suggested. And the KKK, the David Dukes, the alt-right, they were pleased with how this man responded to that situation. A situation where black people were beaten by these white supremacists, a situation where a woman was killed by white supremacists. This man's response was pathetic. His response was a disgrace to this nation. But yet you still have these ignorant, blind, deaf, and dumb Negroes supporting Donald Trump. Only a fool would support Donald Trump at this point. Only an idiotic black person who doesn't have a clue would support Donald Trump. Support a man that's supported by the KKK. Supporting a man that's supported by a notorious racist like David Duke. I mean, when I hear this stuff, I just wonder, what the hell is wrong with our people, man? Then you have this Trump administration that is trying to reconsider all these consent decrees that the Obama administration entered with police departments to end discriminatory practices, to end police brutality. You have this Trump administration reevaluating those, basically trying to get rid of them. You know, basically questioning the effectiveness of these consent decrees. Consent decrees that make it possible to end discriminatory practices. But yet they want to downplay the significance of these consent decrees. They want to eliminate them. But yet you have these dumb, deaf, and blind so-called black conservatives who don't have a clue who support this man. Support a man who's taken away or contemplating getting rid of consent decrees, and then for the future, they don't plan to use consent decrees. You know, many African Americans, for instance, benefit from government programs like Section 8. You know, programs that make it possible for African Americans to have a place to live, for low-income people to have a place to live. But Donald Trump is talking about eliminating those programs that benefit poor black communities. Black people are disproportionately poor, and black people disproportionately benefit from Section 8. But yet you have these Negroes supporting this man who's going to get rid of an important social program like Section 8, who has proposed to get rid of it, who has proposed to get rid of programs like food stamps that feed people, that literally save people's lives. We know, again, that the black community is disproportionately poor compared to other communities. And we know that by getting rid of programs like food stamps, it's going to have a detrimental effect on black people, on our black community. But yet you still have these ignorant, dumb, deaf, and blind black people supporting this man. You know, these coons and buffoons, like those two women, Diamond and Silk, two hair-hatted coons, hair-hatted mammies, Aunt Jemimas, running around here supporting a man who supports every policy that's detrimental to black people. You are a fool if you are black and you support Donald Trump. Donald Trump, people talk about how he's a businessman and how as a businessman he can do so much for the American economy. He can do so much. But what has he done for the American people? What has he done for the black community? What has he done to address the problem of unemployment in the black community? What has he done? While he talks about making America great again, while he talks about America first again, you know, America being first and all this and that, where is he getting his products manufactured? He's getting his products made in China. While he talks all this rhetoric against China, while he talks about putting the American worker back to work, he's investing in China. He has his products made in China, but yet he gives you and me that BS patriotism rhetoric. While when it comes to his business practices, he couldn't care less about patriotism. This man is trying to implement this healthcare reform, which will cause millions of people to be uninsured. And many of those people are disproportionately black, but yet and still you have these foolish, ignorant black people running around here supporting him. These fools running around here with these Make America Great hats. And it's no coincidence that a lot of these people come from the South. You know, the South is is the most backwards region of the country. You know, most black people that had some dignity about themselves, some class about themselves, they left the Jim Crow South for better opportunities in the North. This man and his past, you know, not only is he doing these things presently, but this is who he is. He has a history of discrimination, a history of discriminating against black people. This man, again, was sued by the Justice Department twice for housing discrimination. He didn't want to rent to your black ass, but here your black ass is endorsing this man, supporting this man, talking about how he's a great president. A man that has no respect for black people. All you have to do is look at how he dealt with the whole NFL thing. Here you have people in Puerto Rico, a U.S. territory, with their infrastructure falling as a result of this hurricane, you know, going without electricity and air conditioning and all kinds of things. But yet this man is preoccupied with the NFL. You got a situation involving North Korea, a potentially deadly situation, a potential war going on, and this man wants to talk about the NFL. This man wants to distract from everything except so that he can take people's attention away from the failure of this administration, this failure to accomplish anything, not a single legislative accomplishment. But yet this man wants to talk about the NFL. And as he talks about the NFL, he disrespects black men and black women in particular, calling these black men who protest against police brutality, who take a knee during the playing of the national anthem, he called them sons of bitches. But you're okay with that as a black woman. You're okay with him calling you a bitch. I'm telling you, man, these black Trump supporters have lost their damn minds. I mean, while this man is talking about cutting all these social programs, he's talking about tax cuts for these rich people, for these corporations. But yet you have these ignorant Negroes running around here supporting him. And this woman brought up this issue of North Korea, talking about Obama not doing anything to address North Korea and them using, you know, testing missiles and all this and that. What has Trump done about North Korea besides escalate the situation, besides exacerbate the situation with his rhetoric, his pro-war hawkish rhetoric, which is going to end up getting people killed? End up getting people killed, man. But you're okay with that. You're okay with a buffoon who behaves like a damn infantile child on social media. That's a good president? What the hell is wrong with these people, man? And then she ran with all these talking points from the right about, you know, Soros and conspiracies to set up fake protests and stuff like that. That's bullshit, man. That's complete bullshit, man. Every protest is not orchestrated by Soros. You know, people have legitimate issues. Police brutality is a legitimate issue that has to be addressed. And, you know, these people keep deflecting with this whole black on black violence. But the fact of the matter is, if a black man kills another black man, he is going to jail. He's going to face justice. He's going to face his time, his punishment. But when these punk-ass police kill black people, nothing happens to them. 9 times out of 10, they don't even go to trial. And when they go to trial, they walk after killing black people. These pigs have a license to kill black people. And if you don't have a problem with that, there's something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. And you had the nerve to call Black Lives Matter a joke? An organization that's trying to fight to end police brutality, but yet you have this buffoon that you take seriously, this president who acts like a complete idiot. I'm done, man. Tell me what y'all think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.